Well. Shedeur Sanders refusing to be a backup to one of the NFL's best quarterbacks in Lamar Jackson. The Ravens were planning on picking Shedeur Sanders, and Shedeur Sanders said, nah, I don't want to be a backup to Lamar Jackson. I'm going to pick the team that I want to play. And the Ravens, unfortunately, you guys aren't one of the teams that I want to play for. I'm going to go to the Cleveland Browns, who has Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, Dylan Gabriel, and now they're going to add me to the litany of quarterbacks they have on the roster. ESPN today, hours before we get the Browns-Ravens game, hours before this game takes place, Adam Schefter drops it all on us. Shedeur Sanders said, no, I'm good when it comes to the Baltimore Ravens.
Greeny was all set. A consensus had been reached. The Baltimore Ravens, were planning to select Shedeur Sanders in the 5th round with the 141st overall selection. But when he found out, he got word back to the Ravens that he preferred not to go to a place where he would be competing and backing up Lamar Jackson. He wanted to be in a place that he could play. And so when the Ravens got that message, they pivoted, went a different direction with the 141st overall selection. And 3 picks later, the Cleveland Browns selected Shedeur Sanders, who will be in Baltimore today, where he could have been spending his NFL career if he were willing to back up Lamar Jackson. Preferred not to do that. And so Shedeur Sanders will make that trip to Baltimore today. Could have been a Raven, but he's a Brown, 3rd string on the depth chart, Randy.
Shefty, I mean, the intrigue of Shedeur Sanders and the story of that weekend at the draft just sort of never ends. And so here we hear this, that he chose not to go to Baltimore. Teddy, reaction?
Yeah, you want to go somewhere where you compete to be a starter. That's me. I mean, I don't play quarterback, but I hear that. Listen, I just want to go to any team where I can compete, being behind Lamar Jackson, or I just want to be a starter. Where can I compete to be a starter? I think that's what Shedeur was thinking there.
Does it make sense to you, Randy, for him to say, Lamar's there, he's going to be there for a decade, it's not a place I'm going to get a chance to play? Do you think it's a sensible choice?
Let me piggyback off of Teddy. You talk about Lamar Jackson's going to be probably retired with this organization. So if the backup does get in, he's in for garbage time. So I can see why Shedeur Sanders made that decision. I want to go compete for a job and get out there and play as a rookie.
Yeah, I think this is insane, right? Like, if this is true, I think this is crazy, right? At this point, you're in the 5th round. I understand you had higher hopes, but you've dropped to the 5th round, and you're thinking about being a starting quarterback the next year. I think this is incredibly short-sighted. Like, if you're in this situation, you want to go to an organization that is going to develop you, right? Here you have the Baltimore Ravens, the model of stability in the NFL. This regime's been together for how many decades now? And actually has a track record to develop quarterbacks. Joe Flacco, Lamar, right? Instead, you choose the Cleveland Browns because you think you have a chance to start the next year. And mind you, the Cleveland Browns, who are on the opposite end of the spectrum when it comes to stability, right? This is the same organization that walked away from Baker Mayfield as the #1 pick in the draft. What's he gone on to do? Oh, he's only led the NFL in touchdown passes since joining the Bucs, right? How many starting quarterbacks? There's been 700 starting quarterbacks in the last 20 years for the Cleveland Browns. Like, this makes zero sense. You want to go to a good organization where you can develop and reach your potential.
But, Alex, you said a key thing there about they develop quarterbacks. But if you think you don't need to develop, now you're looking for a responsibility. He certainly doesn't think he needs developing. He thought he was going to be the 1st overall pick. So for him, Cleveland made more sense. And guess what? I wouldn't be surprised by the end of the year if he doesn't start for them.
Shout out to Alex Smith and Rex Ryan for bringing some reality to the situation. Yeah, Shedeur thought he was going to be the #1 overall pick. He didn't think he needed to develop. Shedeur fell all the way to the 5th round. You still think you're going to be a starting quarterback the next season on a roster that has Joe Flacco, that traded for Kenny Pickett, that drafted Dylan Gabriel 2 rounds prior to selecting you? That's the organization that you would rather go to? Shedeur Sanders, once you fall past the 1st round as a quarterback, the 2nd round as a quarterback, the ability to pick and choose your destination should be tossed out the window. The ability to say, oh, I don't want to go here, I want to go there. First of all, if you're a leader, that never should be in the back of your mind. You should have enough confidence in your game. I'm going to come in and compete right away. Shedeur Sanders, yeah, you're going to come in and back up for Lamar Jackson. How many times have we seen backup quarterbacks play well enough in the preseason, have a good enough game film, play well on tape to where that backup quarterback turns into a hot commodity and teams go out and pick that backup quarterback? How many times have we seen that in the NFL? A backup quarterback, even playing in garbage time, comes in, looks good enough to where teams say, oh, that person can play. That person can ball. Jacoby Brissett, Jimmy Garoppolo, Matt Flynn, all these guys, backup quarterbacks, got their opportunity, whether it was in garbage time, whether somebody got hurt. If the Ravens are so far ahead above the American League Central, right? They have the Browns in their peripheral. They have the in their rear view. They have the Steelers in their rear view. What makes you think that John Harbaugh in the final weeks of the season won't say, okay, Lamar, you're going to get in a quarter, you're going to get in 2 quarters, then we're going to go see what Shedeur got. We're going to get in, we're going to see what Shedeur has. We already clinched. We're 2 games up. This game is meaningless. Week 17, week 18. All right, Shedeur, this is you. Run the offense. It is short-sightedness. You could come in, be a backup, show that you're a professional, show that you're willing to play your role, show that, you know what, when it is my time, I am ready. I've done the preparation needed to become ready. So when I do get the chance to start, when I do get the chance to get into live action football, I'm going to prove to teams that I am worth a starting position, and they're going to have to trade for me. Kirk Cousins with RG3, he was a backup, and now look at Kirk Cousins. There are so many guys in this league who were backups, showed that they could play. Ryan Fitzpatrick showed that they could play and turned into starting quarterbacks in this league. Instead, like what Rex Ryan and Alex Smith said, now you're in Cleveland, a tumultuous organization, a disorganized organization, an organization that has been losing forever. If Shedeur Sanders does come in and start at some point this year, great. But what we've seen from Shedeur on film so far this year, other than the first preseason game, has been nothing to write home about. Joe Flacco, Super Bowl champion. Kenny Pickett, he's injured, Super Bowl champion. They drafted Dylan Gabriel in the 3rd round. Shedeur's got a lot of leapfrogging to do. The only reason why he's 3rd on the depth chart and not 4th is because there was an injury to Kenny Pickett. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel. That would mean so much to me. See you next time, and as always, take it easy.